Hey guys, welcome to Conquer Rosemount for our WNL Regionals. I'm going to go over some general rules for us really quick. For some of our obstacles today, your point B is going to become your point A. When that's the case, you have to stay on top of that pad because you'll be starting your next obstacle immediately after you complete that obstacle. In order to get your point on the obstacles today, you have to complete the 3 clearing criteria, and that's where you cross that front plane. We have this pad, this line here that'll be on the front of each of the pads to show where that clear plane is. So you have to get entirely across the plane, and you have to disengage the previous obstacle and be making contact with the pad itself before moving on to the next obstacle. For when your point B becomes your point A, that means doing it right away before you start the next one. If your point B does not become your point A, that means that you have to be touching this pad past the plane and letting go of this obstacle before you can move on to the next obstacle off of that pad. For each of our obstacles today, you're going to be told whether you can use your upper body, that's anything above the waist, lower body, anything below the waist, or your entire body on an obstacle. Any part of your body is always going to be allowed on starting and ending platforms. If you start an obstacle, you're always going to be allowed to return to your starting platform if you can do so without going out of play. We'll tell you what is allowed to be used in the course. If there's anything that is not explicitly said to be in play, it's assumed out of play today. Incidental contact on any posts or pads will result in a warning and then a fail if it happens a second time. If that contact assists your swing in any way, then that'll be an automatic fail. All hardware is going to be out of play unless specifically stated otherwise. Hardware includes any clamps that'll hold things up, any straps, any carabiners, anything like that. Proximity rule is also going to be in play for every obstacle in our course today. You must complete the 3 clear criteria on the end platform before being able to start the next obstacle. You cannot link into any of the obstacles today. If you fail any of the obstacles, then you may take any path that you want to reset onto the starting platform for our challenge course. But you may not manipulate or touch any of the obstacles on the way. And if you intentionally move any of the obstacles as it's trying to be reset, then that may result in an automatic fail. Nobody is allowed to touch or test any of the obstacles in the course on the day of the competition. That includes athletes, coaches, and parents. If anybody is caught touching, feeling anything, moving anything around, seeing how something swings, that may result in an automatic fail for your athlete. On the day of the competition, we're going to have our designated viewing and warm-up areas, and then we'll have our competition floor. The competition floor is only going to be for athletes and coaches. Make sure that if you are coming to coach that you bring your proof of certification, and we will give you some form of identification to have so that you're allowed to be out on that floor. And then once the competition starts, only the current running athlete and their coach is allowed to be on that competition floor at any time. For our first course today, it's going to be 9 points with a 1.5-minute time limit, and it is going to be our flow course, which means that you'll keep running, you'll keep gaining points until you fail. Once you fail your first obstacle, then your run will be done. All right, for our first obstacle here, we're going to be starting on this pad right here. You're going to be allowed to use anything that's on this wall. The rock holds, the rings, making your way all the way down. These wall bars are okay too. Finishing on this black pad here. This is the front plane of this landing pad here. You must clear this plane, touching the pad to move on to the next obstacle. And then we're going to be coming over here. Our next obstacle is going to start on this purple pad right here. You're allowed to use these 4 vertical pipes to get you to your point B, which is this pad right here. This front plane here is the clear plane, so you must cross that plane, making contact with the pad to get your point. Starting your next one, you are going to start on this pad here. You're allowed this trapeze and this second trapeze here to get to your point B, which is this pad right here. This is the front plane of this pad, so crossing that front plane will get you your clear. This is also the start of our next obstacle. So starting here, we've got our pad tippers here. You're allowed any surface of these pads here. If it tips and rolls over, that's fine. You can use any of the surfaces. You can use any of this quintuple step, any of this tipper here, and your point B will be right here. The front plane will be right here, so you have to cross that front plane to clear your obstacle. For your next obstacle, you can use this wall bar here and these cliff ledges here, and you can use lower body only on this lower wall section right here to get you to your point B, which is this pad right here. This face is the clear plane, so you have to cross that plane, making contact with the pad to get your clear. Going on to our next one, we're starting on this black pad right here. You're going to be going across these PVCs here onto this black pad right here. This front plane is your clear plane, so you must cross that plane in order to get your point. This one does not start your next obstacle. Your next obstacle is going to start on this pad right here. So if you overshoot that pad, you can come right back, get on this pad to start the next one. For the next one, starting on that pad, you can use this trampoline here, this wheel here, this trampoline here. Any part of the trampolines is in play. And then you'll be allowed this pad right here. This pad is your point B, sorry. And the front plane will be here. So you have to cross that plane, making contact with the pad to get you clear on that obstacle. And then that'll get you into your next one here, where you're going to be using this ring to get you to your point B, which is this pad right here. This front plane here is going to be your clear plane, so you got to cross that plane and make contact with this pad in order to clear. And then you're going to be finishing, going up the 8-foot warped wall. There will be a buzzer. Your time will stop as soon as you hit that buzzer. For our second course today, we're going to have a 4-minute time limit with 11 total points, and it's going to be our challenge course format. And the rules for that is if you fail an obstacle, you will get a second attempt to complete the obstacle. And if you complete that obstacle on your second attempt, then you'll get to move on to the next one and keep going. You are allowed to do this up to 2 times total. If you fail an obstacle and then complete it 2 times in a course, then the next time that you fall, your run will be done, and you can continue to do the obstacles, but you will not gain any more points. For your first obstacle, you're going to be starting on this black pad right here. You'll be allowed any part of your body on these boxes that are sticking out of the wall right here, as well as anything that is on these boxes only. And you'll also be allowed the rope and the pillar with any part of your body, these boxed out portions and any holds on them with any part of your body, the rope and the pillar, these boxes and the holds on these boxes, this pillar and this rope, and these last boxes here with the rock holds to get to your point B here. You can use your lower body on any of the holds that are on the wall itself, not on one of these boxes, but you're not allowed to use your hands on these ones. Any of the upper hand holds will be taped off day of the competition. This is the front plane of this obstacle. You have to clear the front plane, and it is the start of your next obstacle as well. On this obstacle, your point A is going to be this quintuple step right here. You'll be allowed to use each of these balance pipes to get you to your point B, which is this black pad right here. This is the front plane of this obstacle here. You have to clear that plane to get your clear, and it is not the start of your next obstacle. On this obstacle, your point A is this vault box right here. You're allowed to use this trapeze right here and this trapeze right here with any part of your body to get you to your point B, which is this black pad right here. This is the front plane for this landing pad. You have to cross that plane to clear. This is not the starting pad for your next obstacle. For this obstacle, your point A is going to be this black pad right here. You're allowed to use this step here, this step here, this step here, this step here. And you're allowed to use this swing as well as using these straps here to get you to your point B, which is this red pad right here. This is your front plane for this obstacle, so you have to clear that plane, and it is the starting pad for your next obstacle. You're starting this obstacle on this red pad right here. You're allowed to use this rope here. You're allowed to utilize any of the pegs at any of the holes of the peg boards. You'll see the peg variation for your division in your demo video. And your point B is going to be this red pad right here. This is the front plane, so you must cross that plane to clear the obstacle. and this is the starting pad for your next obstacle. Your next obstacle will start on this red pad right here. You're allowed to use these pads here. You're allowed to use this dropping portion of this slot right here. Any part of this hexagon here to get you to your point B, which is this pad right here. Your clear plane for this obstacle is this front face right here. And this is not the starting pad for your next obstacle. You're going to be starting on this platform right here for this obstacle. You'll be allowed to use this rolling log right here and this slack line right here. You are not allowed to use these end platforms here. They will be marked off day of the comp. And your end pad is this black pad here. Your clear plane is this front face right here. So you must clear that plane to clear your obstacle. And it is not the starting pad for your next obstacle. For this obstacle, your starting pad is going to be right here. You'll have these two doors to use. The straps and variation of the boards might be a little different between each division. You'll see how it's done in your demo video. Your point B is going to be this pad right here. This is the front plane of this pad. So you must go past that front plane to clear. And this is the start of your next obstacle. For this obstacle, we're starting on this red pad right here. You're allowed to use this trampoline here. Both of these wheels right here to get you to your point B, which will be right over here. Your front plane is going to be on this surface right here. You must get past that plane to clear, and this is not the start of your next obstacle.
This obstacle here, you'll be allowed to use the blue lachet bar to make your way to the hanging rings, which can be hooked onto the salmon ladder rungs and the sky hook rungs, and into the bear trap to then make your way to the dismount pad at the end. The last obstacle here, competitors will be able to use any part of their body on the cliffhanger ledges only to work their way to the ending platform and then hit the buzzer at the end to stop their time. The distance you have to travel on the cliffhanger will vary depending on your age group.
Sammy, you got to jump, load up, one kick. Come on, you got this. There you go. There you go, nice. Good landing. You're good?
Good save.
Coming back to this red pad here. There you go, agility. On the purple, right through it. Going past that tape, remember.
Go. Clear. 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 Clear.